to my kitchen. I hope you're doing well. So last week was my birthday, and for it I decided to have a dinner party. And I also wanted to review this cookbook, so I figured why not kill two birds with one stone. So the cookbook I'm reviewing is called the Groundnut Cookbook, and it's by three guys, Timothy, Duval and Folayemi. And these guys run a supper club focusing on East African and West African foods, and they basically just share some of their recipes from that. And essentially their whole philosophy is about putting African food in a positive spotlight. So I read the cookbook from front to back, and essentially what these guys do is they tell you their stories about when they travel to meet family, or basically their experience growing up in South London and how that relates to food really. One of the main things I really love about this cookbook is the cover. It's very bright and it's got drawings on it. I think that's really true to African culture in terms of the brightness and sort of the drawings and the artwork. And I think it's done by Duval actually, and he's a graphic designer or something of that sort. I think with most cookbook covers, it's usually the cookbook author on it, but these guys have gone out of their way to make it really unique and to stand out, which is one of the reasons I really like this. So moving on to what I made for my actual dinner party, I had a 3-course meal. For the starters, I gave my guest a choice of 2 soups. So the first one was the groundnut soup and the second one was green soup. I was quite worried that the green soup would taste a lot like a smoothie, but it didn't. It has its own taste. In it has spinach, I believe, callaloo, coconut milk, and a few other things, but essentially it's quite creamy and it's quite light at the same time. It's not something I am crazy over, but it's definitely something, if I know I've been lacking in vegetables for the week, then that's something I would sort of make my go-to. In the book there isn't a full picture of what the finished product looks like, which is a shame because I would have liked something to compare what I made to. If it's possible to describe a soup as gorgeous, this is how you would describe the way they made their groundnut soup. I said to myself I was only going to have a tablespoon because I actually have a mild allergy to peanuts, and then I ended up having 3 bowls full. On my first bowl I ended up with a rash, and even though I had that rash I still kept on eating or drinking more of the soup, which sort of tells you how good it is. It's very creamy, it's very well, not very spicy, but it's got the spices come through, and I just couldn't get enough. I'm going to try and recreate the recipe using cashew butter instead of peanut butter so I don't end up with a rash. But yeah, it's definitely going to become my staple for winter. Then I gave my guests the choice of steamed buns and steamed plantains. I actually went ahead and made these again after my dinner just because I wasn't very happy with the way they came out, and I wasn't sure if that was just because I'd been panicking a lot or if it was the book. What I will say is that the steamed buns, they're very nice. I think they could have been a bit sweeter, but I think the reason I wasn't happy with them, in the book they look a lot more darker, so I was expecting to have something a lot more dark, and I thought maybe I was missing an ingredient. The steamed plantains. Now, despite the fact that this is just one ingredient, it's actually very tricky to make. So the first time I steamed them like you do normally, but on the second go I used their second method because they actually have 3 methods to make it, and the method that I prefer using is where you wrap it loosely in foil and then you put it in the oven to steam, and this way it comes out so much better than the first way. Yeah, so I'm very happy they gave me more than one way to make it, otherwise I sort of probably would never have tried this again. But it's very soft, and if you are a fan of fried plantains but you're not keen on the oil, steaming it is such a great way to make it because it comes out absolutely soft and it's just brilliant. So for my main, I gave my guests a choice of grilled lamb, mustard prawns and peri peri chicken, as well as either Pilau Rice and Jollof Rice, and those came with pan-fried okra. Now, you guys know that I love steaming my jollof rice just because for me, I've never been able to make jollof rice without either burning it or there's too much water in it. These guys have absolutely saved me just because now I can make jollof rice without burning it. And what I love even more about this recipe is that they've put in some palm oil, and it has the scent, you can smell it, and it just makes it taste not fruity, but the palm oil makes it a bit sweeter, which is what I love about this recipe. Oh my gosh, the pilau rice. It was really nice and fluffy. I wasn't very keen on the zest, but it's just such a fragrant dish, and it's something you can either have by itself or with a sauce or curry. The grilled lamb recipe originally calls for heart, but they know that not everyone is as adventurous as they are, so they recommended using lamb shoulder instead. Now, this recipe was surprisingly tangy, but it's not sort of tangy / acidic in the way lemon is. It's a great recipe for using sumac for your first time, and I was quite glad that I tried this out. Something I'm definitely going to try again. Now with the prawns, you're going to have to forgive me with this innuendo, but with the mustard seeds, you have to sort of get over the millions of different balls in your mouth. You get a gentle kick from the chili flakes, but alongside the lemon, it all sort of combines really, really well. Now with the Peri Peri Chicken, I'm automatically going to compare this to Nando's. And one thing I can say from this recipe is that if I'm ever craving Nando's, I'm not going to rush to go there. I'm just going to buy my own ingredients and make it myself. I would add a lot more spice just because I'm the person who goes to Nando's and I get the black bottle. But it's so much more cheaper than actually going to Nando's, and you can have a lot more. So this is definitely a recipe that I will be making again and again and again. So the okra was something new for me. I am usually used to having okra as a soup, so not pan fried. With this, you pan fry it in chili oil and then you drizzle some honey on top. The chili oil didn't really quite do anything for me, so I sort of felt like that was a waste of money. But if I added chili flakes and honey, then I think that would have been a lot better. It's quite nice to know that you can have okra as something sweet as opposed to something savoury. I was also meant to serve my guests some aubergines and pomegranates, but unfortunately I left that in the oven, and like an idiot I forgot about it. But one thing I would say about the recipe is that it could do 1 tablespoon less of oil. And that's just because when I did bring it out of the oven, when I eventually had it, it was a bit too much oil for me. And I think it would have tasted a lot better if it had been a bit more crispier. So now for dessert, I gave my guest banana almond cake. I didn't really like this cake, and I think it's just because when you're using almond flour, it can be quite tricky. If there's too much moisture in it, it doesn't become crumbly like a normal cake would, and it can also burn a lot faster. Now because my oven's quite new, the sort of temperatures didn't match, and because of that, it looks slightly burnt, but it was still edible. It's just not the way I would make banana cake. The avocado ice cream really saved the dessert. If you're dairy free like me, this is an absolute lifesaver in terms of having ice cream. It's exactly as creamy as any other ice cream would be, and the flavours are, oh my gosh, so amazing. It's quite zesty because you do put lemon in it, you do also put a lot of sugar in it, but it's a dessert, and once in a while, you are sort of free to sort of go in on your dessert. So the chapters of this book are done in the style of menus. There's about 7 dinner menus and 1 brunch menu. They also have a chapter which is dedicated to like the staple kind of bases that you need to make some of their recipes. On top of that, they have an index at the end, and they've got 2 indexes. So there's the general index and then there's the index by recipe type. And when I was cooking, I mainly used the index by recipe type because I found it easier. But I did have one issue with it, which is not every single recipe comes under a category of recipe type, which makes it difficult to find if you're going by the general index. I found most of their recipes quite easy to follow, although I would say in terms of ingredients, if you're not used to shopping in the market like me, it would be good if they had a sort of guide to shopping for certain ingredients that they recommend. For example, when you get okra, you need to make sure that the ends aren't bendy. And as well, the other thing was making sure that they were the right size, because sometimes it's like, get a carrot, you don't know if it's a large carrot or a small carrot. Oh, and you also need a mortar and pestle for so many of the recipes. So now I'm going to go out and buy a mortar and pestle, but I feel like it should come with an advance warning. But yeah, all in all, I really do love this cookbook. There's so many more recipes I want to try and cannot wait to try. I think this is a cookbook that is definitely for anyone, whether you're used to West African cooking or East African cooking, or whether you're completely new to African food. It's also really good for vegans and vegetarians. It's not something that they mention any note on, but there's so many recipes where if you're not a meat eater, it's absolutely great for you. I think if I was to give the book an overall score, I would probably say 8 out of 10. I think one or two things let it down, like not having pictures of the final recipe, or sometimes there were some pictures that were slightly over edited. If you guys do want to try it out, I will leave the ISBN below, and you can buy it from Amazon or Waterstones, or wherever you buy your books from. I've got a few clips and bits from my dinner party. I was quite bad at vlogging the day, so you're going to have to excuse me. I hope you guys enjoy what's left of this video, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!
As well, is there a reason why people haven't taken it?
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah. Okay.
For me?
No, for her to pass the plate.
Okay, did you figure out what that thing was?
What's the thing?
The
Okay.
Oh,
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
yeah.
This is wine.
Okay, so hold it at the stem.
This is how the pros taste wine.
Hold it at the stem. Okay, now smell it.
That's how it's done.
Smell.
Smell.
Yeah. What hints do you get? What are you detecting?
She said anything about it. On the video,
I think that she said that because she was followed.
Let's see.
Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Cooking with Claude, and today we.
I'm recording.
Oh, didn't see that.
So what did you have for your starter?
Groundnut soup.
And how did you find it?
It was nice.
The green soup was lovely, it was light, it was fresh.
The starter was the first. I never had that before. The green soup, which was quite nice actually. Very warm flavour.
And what was your main?
Jollof rice and peri peri chicken.
Okay.
With some okra. Okra was nice, sweet. Jollof rice was nice. Chicken, radical man.
The jollof rice was sweet, the chicken was flavoursome.
She did a thing with the jollof rice and it was banging, I can't lie. It was sweeter than anything I've actually had in terms of jollof.
I think the peri peri chicken was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I wouldn't change a single thing. Probably portions, maybe.
Yeah, obviously, because not a lot of people had the lamb. I thought, let me be adventurous, try something new today, and it was dope. Like, I've never had lamb like that.
And how did you find dessert?
Dessert. Ice cream was fantastic. I need the recipe. It melts slowly in your mouth as well. I'm not even the biggest ice cream guy, but did the job.
And the avocado ice cream, considering there is no milk in it, was perfect. And I didn't throw up.
Yeah, I generally don't like avocado, but I couldn't tell that there was. It tasted kind of mango-y and fruity to me. So that was lovely. Yeah.
And the wine selection. Couldn't have picked it better myself.
Maybe I had more wine than I thought I did.
An 8 out of 10, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Same.
Okay.
2 thumbs up.
Thanks, guys.
And my starter, my main, and my dessert were amazing.
And as a result, today's meal was fantastic. West African Americans, they've all got it twisted. Jollof rice originated in Jamaica. Go research it.